You know, Nickelback is easily the biggest thing out of Hannah, Alberta since Lanny McDonald and that fabulous mustache. Now, the band have managed to sell 27 million records, and they've only just put out their 6th studio album. So let's go back to the beginning. You know, now their career's first big step happened in 1996. That's when they packed up and moved to Vancouver, British Columbia. And by 2000, the band were managing themselves, had an independent record, got a song on the radio, and toured a ton. They opened for every band you can imagine. Then they signed a record deal. You can say hello. Next thing you know, bigger audiences, opening for bigger bands, and the release of their album called Silver Side Up. They did something that nobody in Canada expected, a massive success. 3 #1 hits, a huge debut on the charts. It's not like you to say sorry. I was waiting on a different story. And that song, How You Remind Me, went to #1 in Canada and America at the same time. Oh, by the way, the only other Canadian bands to ever do that, the Guess Who and the Guess Who's baby, BTO. Nickelback's lead singer Chad Kroeger had another mega hit. Instead of working with just Nickelback, he wrote a song for the Spider-Man soundtrack called Hero. That was huge. And since then, well, all they've done is put out records, sell a ton of them, and tour the world. They've got a bunch of awards, including 9 Junos. In all, Nickelback has had 13 singles on the Billboard charts, and in 2007, they were inducted into Canada's Walk of Fame. And their new record is called Dark Horse. They've just kicked off a big North American tour. Everybody, it's Chad and Ryan, it's Nickelback. Gentlemen, good to see you, man. How are you? Good to see you. All right. I don't think I've seen you guys since you got your Walk of Fame star, and I wonder, is it true life is drastically different once you have a star on the Walk of Fame in Canada?
Drastically.
Drastically.
Drastically. I can't even get a haircut. Look at me.
Yeah, your hair is still the closest, right?
To
what it would have been.
Yeah, no shaggy.
Your record's Dark Horse, but I guess the fact that this is 6 records into your career now, the idea of being this far, did you? I know you couldn't have imagined it would have gone to the levels it's gone to, but do you ever get a chance to look back at what the last 10 years has been like for your band?
Every time we come to your show and you show the bio.
Well, we have to relive, you know?
I don't reflect a lot these days. I think I will when I get a little older. I think I'll probably do a little more looking backwards at it. You guys got 6 albums, and it's like, I don't mean to be that way, but it's like, I don't even guess so, yeah? 6 and a half.
You just said it, and I was like,
yeah. It's always looking forward. We always seem to be looking forward, and it's a good thing to be doing, I suppose.
But I wonder if that's one of the reasons why the band is as successful as your band is because you've always been able to kind of do that and focus on tomorrow. When I think a lot of bands get caught up in their moment and in their today, and they don't seem to be, that forward thinking. Do you plan this stuff out? Like, do you know what you're doing in Nickelback?
Anything.
If I had this plan,
winging it, one day at a time, every single day, just making it up as we go along.
Yeah,
absolutely, faking our way through everything.
You must have some plan. We got Mutt Lange on your record. You produced with Mutt Lange. What was that like?
It was great. He was going through a little bit of a divorce, but he was on the phone a lot. He was on the phone a lot.
Yeah, he just never slept. He just never slept. Everything was always upside down at nighttime and stuff. But great guy, really nice guy to work with, actually.
What's a guy like Mutt Lange? What does he bring to your sound and your career at this stage when you've clearly got something that works? What does a guy like Mutt Lange? Because he has a very definitive sound.
He does.
Did you ever worry that, oh my God, he's going to make me sound like Cher? Did you have one of those moments?
Well,
Def Leppard was always the.
We talked about it, yeah.
Which would be great. Yeah.
He could definitely bring a lot of humility into the room as well, because he's, the guy can start singing at 8 in the morning, and he's just like, he's way up here, and he's just hitting the notes, and I'm like, oh my God, I need another 6 hours and a few coffees, and maybe I'll think about it. But he literally just jumps right into it, and he's a machine.
Mutt is the most successful producer of all time.
It's crazy.
The only one close to him, I believe, is Quincy Jones. Mm-hmm. And he usually gets to a band right when they're hitting sometimes rock bottom or just starting off, and then winds up doing the biggest album of that band's career. Mm-hmm. But he came in and he said, well, you guys just finished a very successful record, All the Right Reasons, and you're not having a problem selling records, and you're not having a problem writing songs. But I think we could do something cool together. And I was just like, he could have said anything, I wouldn't have really cared, because I'm just such a huge Mutt Lange fan.
Yeah. So was just yes, Mutt? Yeah.
Talking to the guys from Nickelback, they got a brand new record. There's more to talk about, including what could perhaps be Canada's hottest new indoor hockey rink, and they know something about it when we return.
Ryan's got on like, you know, a white t-shirt and like cut off board shorts or something. I mean,
Is that happening?
You know that
kidding.
people believe everything they hear on TV, right?
Kidding.
So that's not.
Back here on the hour, Chad and Ryan from Nickelback are hanging around. Dude, things are fine. Obviously, you're selling lots of records in an era when nobody's selling lots of records. And some people invest their money, and other people build hockey arenas on their property. What is this?
That sounds outrageous. I'm like, no one would be silly enough to do that.
No one would ever do that.
no
What
one would
happened?
be dumb enough to do that.
You built a hockey rink in your basement,
I did.
which is awesome / insane, but awesome. Tell me, what? Was it one night you were really drunk with Kid Rock and you're like, that'll be amazing. I need a...
I bet you did start that way.
Well, Joey that makes all the records with us, Joey is in What the Hell's on Joey's Head, Joey. Yeah. We sit around and we just come up with the dumbest ideas. And Joey's a big hockey player. Joey's a big guy. He's, you know, very Viking. Mm-hmm. And you don't want Joey coming at you on skates, I can tell you that. But he came up with, he was like, we need a rink out here. I mean, we just need and I'm getting into this idea. And I'm like, yeah, okay. I'm sure we could build just like a big, because I've got 20 acres just outside of Vancouver, so I could blow up anything I want out there, and my neighbors really don't care. And I was thinking, okay, well, why don't we build like a big sports complex out here so we can make records and we don't have to go somewhere to have fun, you know, and it rains nonstop in Vancouver. I'll build this big sports complex and we'll just make sure that we've got chillers and the capability to freeze the floor, and then we'll just, you know, have some fun with it. And then I decided to do this addition onto the house, and the architect was like, well, why don't you just put the arena underneath the new addition? I'm like, well, how do we do that? So, well, we get these huge beams that they use to build bridges with, and we have them all engineered, and it'll hold up the entire structure. We'll dig down 20 feet, so you have 2 stories, and then we'll have chillers and the whole 9 yards, and so I was like, okay, we could do this. This is definitely something stupid enough that I would try. And so away we went, and now I have a 3-on-3 rink in my basement.
And a Zamboni.
And a
Zamboni.
You drive the Zamboni?
That is so much fun. It is. It really is. It's just.
I'm coming to Vancouver for Juno weekend. We got to play hockey in that rink.
We have to.
The Hour versus Nickelback.
You got it.
I think we could do that. That'll be fun.
got it.
You got a lot of rings here, but you don't have a Stanley Cup ring. But you apparently, I know that you're friends with Kid Rock.
Yeah.
And so Kid Rock has a Stanley Cup ring, doesn't he?
He almost didn't. It was very funny 2 nights ago, and I'm even sporting my Detroit shirt. I've got it on.
People are watching us in Detroit cheering
There
right
you
now.
go. So we played the Joe Louis 2 nights ago. So Kid Rock, Bob is his name. Bob comes down, and we go over to Chris Chelios's bar, and we're having a blast. And Bob's got this big honking ring. This thing is massive and just covered in diamonds. Huge Stanley Cup ring. I'm like, where's the one from the Hurricanes? He goes, no, I got this new one. I got the Red Wings ring on. I'm like, that is amazing. He goes, you want it, dude? You can have it. Whunk. He gives it to me in my hand. I do one of these, and I'm like, so I throw it on. He goes, take it, right in front of Chris Chelios. And Chris is looking at Bob. He looks at me. He looks at Bob. He looks at me. He looks back at Bob and goes, hey, you better get your ring back. And Bob said, no, you can have it, And I'm like, you're not getting it back now. So I kept it. And
You kept it?
I gave it back to him in the morning. We went all out to Bob. Sam Roberts was there.
Yeah.
He was playing in Detroit the same time we were, so we all went to Bob's place and we partied. And we all started jamming out of Bob's place, just having a blast.
But there's aside from the enjoyment of the partying, you guys all have a lot in common. That is a very roots rock in a sense. It all comes from the history of music. Do you get a feeling when you hang around with other musicians that there is that kind of connection? Kid Rock has a connection, Sam Roberts does, you do?
When, in a jam session, you can always tell what somebody likes to listen to. you know, and Bob can jam anything, and I'll start playing a little CCR or something, and, you know, next thing you know, we all break into something, and it's a lot of fun. It is.
Is he still giving you a hard time about what you're wearing? I heard
Me?
an interview with you that
Never
you said
ends.
one thing you could do without, yeah?
Never ends. Yeah.
Well, like, I'm one to give fashion tips.
That's what I keep saying.
What does he say to you?
Oh, God. You're going to have my dirty laundry here on stage? Oh, God. What is it?
Daniel?
Length of pants, cut of pants.
I just think it's
it.
ridiculous if the other 3 band members all get up on stage wearing black, and we're going to come out as a unified front wearing black, and Ryan's got on, like, you know, a white T-shirt and, like, cut off board shorts or something. I mean,
Does that happen?
You know that
I'm kidding.
people believe everything they hear on TV, right?
kidding.
So that's not. Of course.
But,
It's this. Yeah.
I do like the unified front. If we're all going to go out together, you know, it's like, if we're all wearing, if everyone else is wearing green and I'm wearing black, I better switch to green. I just like, you know, everybody.
Is it harder to keep the band together now that you have clearly succeeded and you're making records and selling records?
I don't think it's got anything to do with success. I think if we made it this far, no matter to what level you're at, I mean, if you're friends, you're friends. And if you fight in the first, it's just like being in a relationship. You know, if you have a nasty fight in the first 30 days of dating someone, it's probably a bit of an indication.
Yeah.
You know, but
I mean, it's different. It's different at every stage, I guess, that you're going through. I mean, it's always, you know, like you said, we're all friends first, and you know, when you're starting out, it's like you have a little less freedom because everybody's got this. You've got this goal to just, you know, do the best you possibly can with that band.
I've never seen a band tour more than you guys did before you were famous. So you guys played 1 million shows. I guess that's
why I'm taking her easy now.
That's a trial by fire.
Exactly.
It's good to see you, man. Thanks for coming in.
good to see you. Thanks for having us.
I got a brand new record called Dark Horse. Their North American tour is on now. They're playing Toronto, Hamilton, Edmonton, Calgary. They're coming to Saskatoon, Winnipeg, Nickelback.com. There's a lot of wait for all the tour dates. All right, up next, big news about their 2 favorite, Siegfried and Roy.